Hi guys, this is my third and final video in my trio of videos about the Sigma Prime's f1.4. I've already done the 16 and the 30, and this one is the 56. Now, if you like to shoot portraits and you have a Micro Four Thirds camera or an APS-C camera, boy oh boy, this thing is bang for your buck. Let's talk about it. Now, the thing I've always said about these f1.4s from Sigma is that they turn your crop sensor cameras into cameras that compete very much, in my opinion, with full frame cameras, and I will show you an example of why I think that. I compared this lens with this camera, the ZV-E10, and the 56mm f1.4, my little Dougie, with his little friend, Mr. 56, and I compared him to my 85mm f1.8 from Sony, which is a highly rated lens. It is not the G Master, but it is considered a very good lens, very bang for your buck in itself in terms of the full frame world, but it's still a nice bit more expensive than this guy right here. This guy's about $400 at B&H right now, and my f1.8 is about $600 at B&H right now. However, the 1.8 is on my A7 IV body, which is $2,500, and my little Dougie is $700. So what you have is an $1,100 setup versus a $3,100 setup. $2,000 in the difference. So let's take a look at the difference in the photos. Okay, so here we have a photo of a random woman who likes to hang out near and in my house. And this is the 85mm f1.8 set to f1.8 on the A7 IV. And this next picture is the same scene, but on the 56mm f1.4 at f1.4. I'm using my trusty little ZV-E10. And that is the difference between the bokeh and the depth of field between the 1.4 Sigma and the 1.8 full frame. So 1.8 on full frame in terms of depth of field equivalence is about a 2.1. And as you can see, there is not very much difference between the two. I'll show you another photo here. And this one is of that same strange lady. This is the 56 right here. And this here is the 85 1.8. So 85 1.8 on the A7 IV. And right here is the 56 1.4 on the ZV-E10. And so let's go back to this one. I'll show you a side-by-side here. And I'll just drag this one over here. And so now you can see the difference between the two, the difference between the colors and the depth of field. And in all honesty, I kind of prefer the colors coming out of the ZV-E10 and the 56 right now. And I'll zoom into the eyes here. And as you can see, both very sharp photos on the eyes. This is the 56 is still on your right, and the 85 is on your left. And I'll compare the other two as well. And I'll just drag this one over here. Notice the 85 is on your left again, and the Sigma is on your right. And that is the difference between the two right there. Now, of course, there's lots of good reasons to have the fancy A7 IV camera, and in fact, even get a G Master 85 1.4, but you're going to pay a lot of money for those things. And all I'm saying is that you can get fantastic image quality out of this little Dougie setup with the little 56. In my opinion, it's just such high quality. Sometimes you have to wonder, do you need to pay that extra money? Like someone like me, I don't take professional portraits. So if I'm going to be taking portraits of friends and family, this is probably all I need. And let's not forget the size and the weight. This right here is the 85 1.8, and this is the Sigma 56 1.4. Now, obviously, the lens is a lot smaller and lighter, but if you wanted to get that 1.4 of light that you get from the Sigma 56 f1.4, and you stepped up to, say, the 85mm G Master, then you're looking at this. This is the G Master lens. Sony has lent me this, and I'm gonna take some photos, and I'm gonna try very hard not to buy it. But here, look at the difference in the size of these two cameras. Here, focus on me, cover up my face. Look at that, cover up my pretty face. That is the difference. You're taking around a tank, and you're taking around little Dougie. I tell you what, the size and weight, if you're just carrying it around casually, if you're a professional photographer, you go right ahead, but, for the rest of us. And so now I'll show you some other photos I took on the Christmas holiday. I was visiting my sister and her many children. Her husband was there too somewhere, but I couldn't see him amongst the sea of children. And her kids were good enough to let me take some photos so that I could show you people some fine work from the 56mm. Here we go. Now, I did notice a little purple fringing on some parts of some images. Let me show you that now. Now, you can get a little purple fringing, and that is easily correctable in post here in Lightroom. So I will show you that now. This is a picture of my niece who is pretending not to hate me for several dollars that I promised her. And if we zoom in all the way to 300% here, you see the logo of people who will never sponsor me, the North Face. And you can see, I don't know if you can see it on YouTube, but I can see it on my computer, some little purple fringing around the letters here against the black. So let's just go over here into manual lens correction, click the little eyedropper, select a little bit of the purple, and gone. That is it. Now the image is perfect. What a perfect photographer I am, with a niece who definitely does not need to be paid to take a picture. In terms of drawbacks, what I can see from this lens, besides the purple fringing that's pretty easily fixed, is that it has no stabilization. It's always nice when a lens has stabilization, and it has no physical buttons on it, just a spinning focus ring here, focused by a wire, and there's no physical button to be able to do manual focus or autofocus or assign a button to. I always like a button on the side of my lens, but for the value, for the quality of portraits that you are getting out of this beauty lens, I mean, you gotta take it. You know what I mean? So there you have it, along with the 16mm and the 30mm. The 56 f1.4 from Sigma gets my highest recommendation if you have an APS-C camera or you have a Micro Four Thirds camera and you like to take portraits. Boy, I tell you, I don't see how you would ever choose another lens. I'm gonna have other lenses that are coming in. I think Viltrox is sending me a 56 and I will review that soon. But all I can tell you is I absolutely love this lens and I can't see you going wrong by getting it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a question down below and I'll be happy to answer it, as long as it is not how many kids does your sister have, because I have completely lost count. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.